Hey guys, it's Amber from NotableInk.com, and I am here to Copic color this darling little stamp from the Greeting Farms Miss Anya Coffee Break. I'm not much for people stamps. I don't do them a lot. I just don't do people or critters very often, but I could not resist this cute little girl. I just thought her hair was so cute and her jacket and boots, and I had to have it. So I'm going to be coloring on Curious Metallic Virtual Pearl cardstock. This is the coolest cardstock. It's cream or ivory colored from the front view, but when you look at it from the side, there's an iridescence to it, like a blue purpley sheen, which you can kind of see there, and you can see the texture. I get this from Cardstock.com, and it's in the overstock section for the 5x7 invitations. So a lot of times you can get a pack of 25 for $1.99. So I'll be sure to put a link down below for you to check those out. Pretty soon I am going to do a video on my collection of all of these metallic cardstocks because I just love them, and I want you to be able to see the colors up close. So I'm starting off with the jacket here. I used to have a coat just like this about 20 years ago, except for it was a mustard color. I decided to do her jacket an olive green, and I'm going to do her skirt that mustard color. I'm just really strangely, I'm really into fall colors right now. I think because these YG99 markers are new to my Copic collection, I'm using them all the time. If you've been watching my channel, then you know I've been using them all the time. This is the first time I'm using them on clothes. Prior to this, I used them on some Christmas flower stamps. So this is going to be the only part of the Copic coloring that's going to be at real time. I kind of just wanted you to see how long it takes for me to color and blend. I'm doing the standard flicking technique. If I want a really smooth blend, I'll hold my pen just slightly to the side so that I get a broader stroke, like you can see there. And because this is a small area, I typically will start with the darkest color and then move out to the lightest color. On my blog, I'll have the Copic color markers listed, and then I also have a screenshot of that in this video as well, in case you wanted to pause it and jot down all the colors. So there I'm just showing you the really cool sheen, and I die cut this paper with the tagged die set from the stamp market. So again, I'll have all the supplies listed below. Here I'm coming in with the mustard color, and these are the YR24, YR23, and Y26 markers. So here you can see that's what I've used so far. I'm going to do her heart with the R8 markers. It's really strange to me. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I have all of the R8 markers, and it goes 8-1, 8-3, 8-5, 8-9. And I really feel like there needs to be an 8-7 because it's harder to get a blend between that 8-9 and the 8-5. They're just so far away in distance. So I wanted to show you the back of the cardstock so you'd have an idea of how that bleeds through, kind of comparing that to a Nina Classic Crest. I really enjoy coloring on, and I'm just going to do her little shirt white, so I'm just using some warm grays for that. And I really enjoy coloring on metallic and shimmer papers. If you're going to color on a metallic paper, what I would recommend is one with a little bit of texture, a little bit of tooth to it. If you get one that is super smooth, then it's going to be more similar to coloring on Yupo paper. If you've ever tried that before, you get kind of like a painterly effect where you're going to see your marker brush strokes. Whereas if you're doing it on, like this type of paper has some tooth on it, like you saw that texture in the beginning, and I'm going to show you a close-up of that again at the end, then you don't get that painterly effect. It's going to absorb into the paper very similar to the Nina Classic Crest. So here, honestly, again, I don't color people very often, and so I really have no idea what to do with her glasses. So I just completely ignored them like they weren't there and just colored the face like I normally would. So for the skin tones, I'm using the E3 family. So I think I have E31, E33, E35, and E37. Now you're going to see her face kind of looks a little gray right here. That's because the paper is saturated with the alcohol, and once it evaporates a little bit, you're going to see that her face lightens up a little bit, and she does get pretty dark, but I'm planning on doing her hair black. So she's not going to look quite as dark, and you're going to see her highlights better to her face once we get the black hair in there. So her face has gotten darker, so I'm just darkening up her little hands and her knees here. And I totally didn't realize she had a little midriff on until now. And so I'm going to go ahead and color that. And she'll be a little darker in there because there's going to be a casted shadow from her shirt. And then I need to go ahead and do her neck as well. So next up, we're going to move on to her hair. And I'm just using some cool grays for her hair to get it black. And I think I started with C5, then I'm coming in with C7, C9, and none of this is dark enough, and I actually don't own a black Copic marker. I'm going to need to correct that because it's a little hard to do black hair with just gray. So I'm coming in with a W9 to see if I can get it darker, and then a W10. And then I remembered I do have an Altenew artist marker in black. So after I color up all of this hair, I'm going to go back in off screen with the artist marker in black and just add that. And so you can see some darker strokes there. I didn't add very many strokes of the black, just a few, just to have that dark. And then that created the darker, or the kind of the darker grays. It made that look brighter and more like a highlight rather than just gray. I think. I mean, maybe it needs a little more black. I don't know. You can tell me in the comments. Again, I'm just kind of winging it here. So I hadn't really decided what color I was going to do her boots, but since I did the coffee wrappers in the same mustard colored, I went ahead and did her boots green. And the artist has put in kind of 2 little tick marks there to show where shadows might be. So I'm just using that as a guide and then coming up one side to cast a shadow. And this is the same YG9 markers that I used for her jacket. And of course I stamped this in Copic Save ink, and I used the Altenew permanent black ink for that. So I'm just adding just a touch of shadow to the white cups. Here's all the markers that we used, not too many this time. And I decided to add a little shadow down here. I started with W1 and then came in with W00. Just going to grab a little bit of ribbon. I thought this ribbon was pretty fun and kind of goes with everything. So I like having a black and white striped ribbon in my stash for things like this. And that is going to be the finished tag. So I'll give you a close-up of the shine and the texture. So here you can see from the front it's an ivory color, and then you can see that blue-violet shimmer from the side there. Here you can see from the back, and there I realized I need to cut another piece of this paper and back the tags to cover up that bleed through. And here's where you can see the tooth of the paper. So there's definitely texture to it so that the inks absorb really quite nicely on this paper, unlike a very, very smooth metallic cardstock. So if you've tried coloring on metallic paper before and haven't had great success, maybe look for one with a little bit of tooth. If you're interested in seeing my collection of metallic papers, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so that you're notified when that video posts. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate you hanging with me, and until next time, breathe, ink, inspire.